Good morning. This is Alesa Loftus, and I'm here with Jimmie Ratliff. This Dynamic Independence weekly broadcast. We're sorry that we missed you guys last week, but we've had a little bit of the illnesses going on, so we're all better and here today to give you an update on what's going on in Dynamic Independence for today. So there's been a lot of concern regarding the recent White House memorandum that intended to freeze federal funding, and although it has been rescinded, Jimmie, can you explain how it impacted Dynamic Independence?
So absolutely. So even before the freeze was supposed to go into effect, the day that was supposed to go into effect at 5 p.m., Dynamic Independence saw an issue where we were not able to get into our payment management system. Now, that's a federal portal where we draw down our funds, and we are kind of under the umbrella of the Administration for Community Living. So that's a federal administration, and we were unable to log in to try to draw down any funds to do things like pay bills or create payroll, do a lot of those different things like that, and even to be able to provide some of the services that we provide to our consumers. So the access, as many people know, to these government portals have since been restored because that was rescinded. But there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding some of this federal funding and how that might be impacted in the future as we move along. And those types of impacts can really directly affect our ability to support individuals with disabilities in the communities that we serve.
So if our federal funding was frozen, even temporarily, how would that impact our services?
So for our services, it would be devastating. Our services supported through federal funds, like I'd said, and even a temporary pause would cause us to have to do things like closing the office until funding was resumed. It would leave consumers and other individuals without access to our services. These types of services are like advocacy and peer support that our consumers rely on. These are lots of things that we've talked about before. And as employees, we would also be furloughed through the freeze, and it would essentially just shut down our organization until the funding was reinstated.
Okay. So we know there's still a lot of uncertainty, and we'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates when we can. We want individuals to know that currently we are still open and providing services to those who need them. I know many people who have been tuning in for a while, and we have covered many topics. Jimmie, can you remind folks what services we offer to individuals with disabilities?
Sure. So we're still here. We're still ready to help anybody who needs that help, who has a disability, and our primary focus is ensuring that these individuals who have disabilities that they have access to the support and the services that they need. We provide things like information referrals, community education about disabilities and accessibility, independent living skills training, advocacy for benefits or disability rights, assisting in transitioning out of institutional care, peer support services, individualized education plans, IEPs that are for very young children who are in school still, and even the temporary lending of medical equipment, which is very popular here.
Yes, it is. So you mentioned independent living skills training. What does that entail?
Sure. So this service helps individuals with disability gain necessary skills to live and work independently. So we offer training on things like how to create and implement a budget, creating an independent living plan. This might be if somebody wants to have kind of a very broken out plan on how to achieve something where it allows them to live independently, whether it's they want to get a car for transportation. Well, we may break that down into saying, well, you're going to have to look at your budget and you're going to have to see how much money that you can set back for that car, and then you're going to save money for that car. And may even go even further down than that and say, well, first you have to get a driver's license, and here's what you need to do to get that driver's license. So we use these independent living plans to break down sometimes complex goals that people have into very easy, very attainable steps that we are able to be there to help support them with through that process. But the end goal being that they have taken many small steps that are easy to handle and they end up ultimately achieving their overall goal. So that's one of the big things with independent living plans. Also things like resume writing, we've helped individuals with that. Sometimes we've talked with people who are filling out job applications or interviews, and DRS, who is also a company we work very closely with, an agency we work very closely with, they help with these types of things too, but we also offer some of those services as well if individuals would like to take the advantage of that. And these types of skills empower individuals just to kind of lead self-sufficient lives and be contributing members to the community and live the best life that they possibly can.
Great. So I know we've covered the different steps and things, services that we offer and everything.
Mm-hmm.
One of those, another thing that we do is we have advocacy.
Sure.
So it's a big part of what we do. And can you explain a little bit of how Dynamic Independence advocates for individuals?
Sure. So some of this is kind of like we talked about with filling out job applications and those types of things. So we help individuals work through different processes to get needed supports in place. We may advocate for them by facilitating conversations maybe with their doctor or maybe with their, if they have like an Advantage plan or something like that, with their provider, to make sure that they're getting the assistance they need, to make sure that the provider's understanding what the consumer wants and that the consumer is understanding what the provider actually provides. And so those are types of things we do. We've also assist people with applying for Social Security disability insurance, supplemental Social Security income or SSI, Medicaid, Medicare, and any kind of other benefits. We can always take a look at what benefits you currently have or what benefits you're trying to get, and we can help guide through that process. And a lot of the advocacy is us guiding individuals so that they know what to ask and who to contact in the future, so they can start taking on some of that roles themselves. So we not only advocate for people, but we teach them self-advocacy where they can go out and do that on their own as well. And we just want to make sure that everybody has all the benefits that they're entitled to.
So we help them have a voice.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The transitioning out of institutional care can be challenging. How does Dynamic Independence support that process?
Right, so we help individuals transition from nursing homes or other institutional settings and back into their own homes. This is a really important aspect of the service that we offer as well. A lot of times it can be very difficult for folks, especially if they get into a place like a nursing home or some sort of assisted living care facility, to get back out of there, because a lot of your income or any kind of stipend or monies that you're receiving for some kind of benefit, that might go directly to that place, and then folks are often issued an allowance or they're issued a certain amount, but they don't have money in the bank, so to speak, to be able to say, well, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go get back into an apartment, or I'm going to go get back into my house. They may not even have a house anymore. So if people are especially in temporary institutional care, or if they're trying to get out of institutional care, we can help that process through connecting them with support services. We can look at things like home health care. If the reason why someone has maybe been in a nursing facility or somewhere is because they need a little extra support at home, then they didn't have family members, somebody could provide that.
Right.
We can connect them with some of those home health care folks. Affordable housing, there's a lot of HUD programs and different low-income housing, so even if there's little or no income, that doesn't mean folks still don't qualify for housing a lot of times. Sometimes those waiting lists are long, but we can help people get their foot in the door and start working through the process. And then connecting folks with financial assistance programs. There's not as many financial assistance programs out there as we would like, but sometimes there are some avenues that we can look at to try to get people on their feet and moving forward there. It is important for me to say right here, at this time we don't have money to help people financially ourselves,
right,
but we do look at outside sources to try to get people a lot of those benefits or resources that they might need to be able to get to that point. And the goal is to help individuals live, of course, more independently, which is, of course, Center for Independent Living. It's in the title. And we want them to be able to do that with dignity and respect. and we want them to be able to be back in the community. So.
And I think I want to add in here, because we help people to transition out of the institutions of the nursing homes and stuff like that. But sometimes another part of our services is helping people to transition maybe from the hospital back into home, and so that they don't have to go into a nursing facility, we can help them to find and set up supports so that they're able to stay living in their home.
That's correct. That's correct.
So, and then we have one of our favorites, the Temporary Medical Equipment Loan Program, and it's a very unique service. Can you tell us how that works?
So, we have this Durable Medical Equipment Lending Program. It is a free program, and it is for any individual in our service area, which is Washington, Craig, and Nowata counties. And what this does is we have kind of a lending library of equipment, and it lets us loan things like wheelchairs or walkers or transport chairs or other assistive technology devices like that to individuals who need them, either because they're going through a temporary disability, something like, I just had knee surgery and I need a wheelchair or I need a walker for a month or 2 months during the recovery process, or maybe a little longer. So we help folks by providing those things to them free of charge. Folks would come up to the office here, they would sign a contract stating that they have that piece of equipment, take it home with them for 2 months, and then if they need more time, they just give us a call. We can renew that.
Yeah.
And it really does, it does a couple of different things. It gives people the ability to have that equipment that they need in the moment without having to worry about where the money is going to be coming from to buy it. And it also lets them have that equipment temporarily, so maybe they don't need to try to file with their insurance to get that. And that saves money not only for the individual, but it saves money through the insurance companies. Things like that help keep things like premiums down, and maybe you have to meet a deductible and you have to pay something out of pocket. There's a lot of different facets to that, and I think it's really important that since we are able to provide this type of equipment, it just makes that transition from, say, a surgery or from some other injury like that would be something that was temporary, much more easier and less stressful for the individual.
Yeah.
And we also offer this to people who have maybe a permanent disability, someone who lives with a disability every day, and they may be waiting on maybe a piece of medical equipment to get repaired. Someone may have a wheelchair and it may have to get a wheel replaced or go in for repair. They might be waiting for a new wheelchair that's been approved by their insurance that's going to be sent in, and they said, I need something in the meantime because this isn't working, or my walker broke, or whatever it is that they have, and we can loan that on that basis as well to them.
Absolutely. Given the challenges that we discussed earlier, how can the community support us? How best can they support Dynamic Independence?
Sure. So community support is vital. It's something that we need to make sure that we can provide services even in trying times. Donations, whether they're maybe financial contributions or medical equipment or even volunteer time, all those things help us as we try to continue our mission. Every little bit helps and allows us to provide services to those who need it. So we really encourage folks, if you want to get involved, if you're interested in even just volunteering, if you are interested in donating any equipment. I know a lot of times people will have some equipment that's just sitting maybe off in the garage somewhere that is collecting dust. If you wanted to donate that, we would be happy to take it. We put it with our lending library collection, and it goes out to people who need it in that time. And then, of course, monetary donations are always great because that lets us build seed money to put into place that if there was some sort of freeze that went on for a long period of time, we may be able to continue to provide some services during that time because we have money that's not federal money that's available. So that's something that we've been trying to look at building for a while now, And so any way that anybody can help, we really certainly do appreciate that. And we're very proud to be able to serve the people that we serve.
Yep. And the people that we serve are a part of Washington, Craig, and Newata County.
Yes.
And that's all in Oklahoma. Our commitment to individuals with disabilities remains steadfast, and we'll continue to keep providing those essential services as long as possible. We encourage the community to stand with us, ensuring these programs remain available for those who rely on them every day. And as Jimmie says, you can help us by letting others know about our services. You can help us by giving a contribution, whether it's monetary or as durable medical equipment that has, that you have laying around that maybe is not being used, or even by volunteering. And the ways that you can contact us if you are needing services or if you're just wanting to help out is to contact us at 918-335-1314, or you can come by the office at 1110 Southeast Frank Phillips Boulevard, or you can contact us at our email. And Jimmie's is jratliff. It's JRATLIFF at dynind.org, or you can reach me at A Loftus, which is ALOFTIS.dynind.org. So those are the ways you can get in touch with us, or you can even drop us a message here on Facebook through the messages, or comment below any of our videos if you have had a chance to watch them. And until next week, we're going to sign off and hope you have a wonderful and blessed weekend and get to enjoy some of this nicer weather that we're supposed to be having.
Have a great day, folks.